Welcome back to the Broker Power Up podcast, the AIME podcast for strategy, stories, and insights to help you close more loans. I'm Tommy Golightly, joined by Jonathon Haddad. How are you?
Week before Fuse.
That's when we're recording it. Today is the week of Fuse.
Ah, damn it. Today's the week of Fuse.
Today is the week of Fuse. We are here. We are moving. We have grooved. And it is upon us. I'm very excited. Have you traveling shortly?
Today, Tommy, I posted Backstreet Boys. We went a little nostalgic.
Yeah.
We posted Pokemon not long ago. We did a lot of really incredible things from the AI standpoint. And I say that to all of you. You know why, Tommy? Because you're going to learn all about that at Fuse coming up this week. See that? I took
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I'm gonna probably regret saying this, but on the Backstreet Boys one, it just brought me back to when I was little, and we had a VHS of Backstreet Boys live. And whenever my babysitter would come over, my brother and I would put that VHS on, and we would perform for the babysitter.
No way.
We would match all the moves, sing all the songs. And that babysitter is still in my life, and we still talk. And she never lets me forget that, so I've never forgotten it. So
tell me it's on video.
It's not on video. It was before cell phones.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
God, I'd pay for that, Tommy.
Well, maybe we can ask AI. But we have a lot going on today. We have the Broker Buzz, where we dive into the top posts of the week from the Brokers Are Best Facebook group and discuss what's trending, what's working, what you need to know. Then we're going to have the sales pitch training, where John helps us become better salespeople. And then we will wrap things up with story time with John. But first, John has a fortune cookie.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. If you want to do a fortune cookie at Fuse this week, come see me in the exhibit hall. I'll have a bunch of them. We'll do them together. It'll be great. It'll be fun.
So, you've been doing the majority of these, obviously, been on the road and traveling the fortune cookies at my house, but I just want to share this with the group. So whenever I went to open it, I kind of put it under the camera. And the reason why is if I go to rip it and it doesn't open, I'm like, oh, what happened? Well, that's what just happened. So couldn't rip it on either side, but we got it. So here we are. Today's fortune. Keep in mind that it's the journey and not the destination that counts. I'm in.
That fits Fuse so well.
God, it does.
I mean, the destination matters, but it's not what counts. It's who's there. It's what you're doing.
Well, think about last year for a second, Tommy. We had a hurricane, okay? Mm-hmm. A hurricane, y'all. That's not a joke. It was a hurricane, and I feel like we handled it with as much class and grace as we possibly could. And we still had a massive turnout. Now, we lost people. I'm not going to sit here and tell you everybody showed up. That's not true.
It's a hurricane.
What I will say is this, that the ones that were able to still find a way to come, because there's so many flights canceled, and I don't blame anybody for going high just in case it's not safe family. I get it. But the ones that are like, all right, let me just still try to figure it out, they were not thinking about the destination, right? They were thinking about such a whole different concept of what they were trying to do, what they were trying to grow, and we had an incredible time. And this Fuse is the exact same vibe and mentality that we have, which is help you. The difference now is we've been doing it a little bit longer as a team. And when you do things longer as a team, working with these guys and gals behind the scenes all the time, and now Tommy front-facing on the camera, but
yeah, that's a
giving it is, but opening up that autonomy, opening up what we're doing, opening up the different ideas, this is going to feel different. And it really has nothing to do with the destination. It's the results. It's what you're going to get by being there, focused on the thing that matters most, which is sales. Because that's how you put food on your table. So that's what that one means to me. Sorry for taking it. It's just that one got me hyped up.
You ran with it. And honestly, I think we have a lot more planned this year. Not that we didn't plan, we obviously planned every Fuse. But this year, we just have so much more going on. There's so much more to do. There's so much more to learn. There's so many more people talking. It's just, I'm really excited. usually at this point of the fuse journey, I am exhausted and ready for it to be done. But I am energized. I'm usually just like I fall into fuse because of, like you said, it's the journey, right? So for my fuse journey, it started at the end of last September when the last fuse ended. At AIME, it's just you keep going to the next one. You're constantly planning and planning and planning and planning. And last year, I feel like I fell into New Orleans, exhausted, and then we had the many late nights updating the agenda online, doing all the things, and it was great. And it ended up being an incredible event. But this year, I'm just so energized to be there and to be around all of our incredible community because I've had another year to meet more of you. And I have not had a bad experience. I have only met incredible people that I have benefited from personally, just in knowing their relationships. They've affected my life in very positive ways. And I won't get into it, but you know who you are. And yeah, I think it's where you need to be. And it's going to be different, bigger, better, and we'll come out of it stronger.
We can rebuild it. It's like
we have the technology. We have the.
Exactly. I'm glad you picked up on that. It is good, y'all, and I think one of the things too you're talking about that I love. It has brought so many of us closer, right? Like this journey and what we've done. And I mean, mine and your relationship obviously is growing as well tremendously. And all of that has to do with just so many different factors. But the main one is the focus. It's the goal. It's the vision. It's what we see. It's how we communicate to each other. And it does go deep. And it's, this podcast, it's hilarious. Like this is, I think, what, episode 35? 35, right? So episode 35. Coming in here, we're going to easily sneak up on a year around the corner. But the way even you and I are talking now versus the first episode, it's so much more natural. It's like talking about life and yours and mine and things that are happening. So that's what relationships do, y'all. And that's what Fuse is going to give you, is the opportunity not just to grow your sales acumen, but you got to be around people that are just flat out better than you at something. That's the only way you're going to learn. How much I've learned from this guy about marketing, about many other things that I won't mention. But there's so much that I've learned just by bouncing ideas, asking him questions. He'll ask me questions. What are your thoughts on this? And that constant back and forth where you truly embrace it and you really want to learn, oh my God, it leads you to a beautiful place. But that is today's fortune cookie.
Absolutely. Let's dive into the broker buzz with our first question of the week. When doing a pre-approval that involves a gift, well before the buyer is searching for homes and putting offers in, are you verifying the details of the gift ahead of time? Are you getting a gift letter signed and or getting bank statements from the gifter?
So for this question, especially if you're newer, loan officer, haven't been in the game a long time, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that every pre-approval I did when I first started, if they had a gift attached to it, that I was sitting there getting all the documentations for the gift. I would be lying to you. What I will say is it only takes you one time to get burned to never do it again. And I will say that it happened to me very early in my career. And so I am much more cautious and hesitant about that. And look, you'll be able to understand several things, right? Like if you have somebody coming in and great credit score, great this, great everything, tons of assets, and you're talking to their parent maybe that's supposed to give them a gift and they're on the phone with you. Yeah, like sometimes I'll make a business decision if someone's being a little pushy, but no, get the documentation. It protects you. And just so you understand, for conventional loans, if the money is sent directly to the closing company, once the transaction closes, like at close, money goes right there. You don't have to source the money. FHA, you always have to source that money that's coming in from a gift. So they require a transaction summary or something from the donor that's sending you that gift. So the one thing I will say for FHA is what I will have them do, especially if I have to wait, 45 days for closing or whatever the case is, I'll at least just get a snapshot on the phone and I'll tell them, hey, just so you know, the snapshot will work that you uploaded, but I'm going to need something as we get closer to the closing table because they're going to want to make sure everything checks out and looks good. the underwriters, because 45 days, 30 days just might be too long. Sometimes the underwriters push back and say we need a more updated recent statement to leverage. So I would say it's in your best interest to get that documentation information up front. Even if they don't want to send the signatures up front, at least for FHA, the loans that you have to source, get something that you can see there's money in their account, that you know they have enough to cover the gift and the funds that are going to be required. For conventional, I do want an idea of it. And plus, it's just a signature for conventional, so it's a lot easier. I'll send it out via DocuSign, knock it out. I'll get all the donors' information up front. It'll save you so much time down the road as opposed to trying to get it in process. So yes, I do my best now to get it almost every single time in some shape, way, or form. And on top of that, it's a commitment from the consumer. If they're getting me that stuff I need from the donor, I understand this person's taking this incredibly seriously. And plus, I control the conversation. I control the tempo, and so do you as the LO. So get it every time if you can. I understand you don't want to lose business, and sometimes it pops up. But I'm telling you right now, in my 13 years, and there's so many people that have been doing this longer, it's far and few between where clients are going to push back on getting documents in order to accomplish their dream of buying a house. So have the conversation often and early.
So, question that sprung from that: if you are a parent and trying to help your kid with their first house, would you recommend, just because you said something about just sending the money directly to the closing? So could they just send the money then, or should they give it to the child and then the child pay it?
No. So if you, great question, Tommy, great question. And shame on me, because I explain this to clients every time. So now let's be very specific. This is conventional loan where you don't have to source any of that money. So I don't
It'd probably
need to
be
see
an
your bank
FHA
account.
though.
So if it's FHA,
because it'd be the kid's first house that the parents are
so you can
on.
still do conventional
Yeah.
Just so you know, I've seen both multiple times. FHA is more standard in this situation.
Now
However,
that I'm thinking about it, my first
quite
house
often.
was conventional. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. And so in this instance here's what I'm going to say to that specifically. Okay. So for conventional loan, we'll start there. If they set it up, they sign the document and they want to transfer it directly at closing, yes, have the client send it exactly, the donor, have the gift donor send it to the title company the day the loan closes or the day before. And you don't have to send it to whoever you're giving the gift to. You just send it right to title. I always recommend, always get everybody on the phone, confirm routing numbers, confirm everything. I take it very seriously. I make sure they talk to my title connection. They talk to my person. I always verify via text. I'm just very psychotic about it for full protection of the person giving the gift. So I highly recommend that. Now for FHA, you can technically do the same thing. However, you still need to provide the gift donor source of funds for FHA specifically, which means that the underwriter will still need some sort of bank statement, retirement account from the gift donor, but they can still send it to title directly. And then the other thing is you transfer it to your person that is receiving the gift. When that happens for FHA, they then need to see, for FHA specifically, they then need to see it leaving the gift donor account. And then they also have to see it entering your account and clearing. It cannot say pending. It must say cleared. For conventional, it's you just have the letter itself, but from the letter, then you have to wait for that money still to leave your account. You don't need their asset statement anymore. However, you still need to wait for your asset statements to update. So that's why I recommend to always send that money transferred to title at closing. Title is going to send back a document when they upload it so funding can occur. And it basically says that, yes, we received a gift. Here's the amount of the gift and the money that we received for it from this person. It's their account number. That's the other thing too. Please, if they say, let's just say, Tommy, you and your wife are giving me a gift. All right. For me, I'm your son. You're giving me a gift. And you and Jillian have two separate accounts. And I say, yep, my dad's giving me the gift. And we write it all out. Dad's giving me gift, all set. Tommy's giving me gift. Tommy sends in the money. But right before, for some reason, Tommy says, Jillian, can you just send it from your account real quick? You're his mom. It's fine. But then Jillian sends it. Your name's not on there. They see the money, right? I just gave the lender a gift that says, Tommy Golightly, my dad is giving me a gift for X dollars. Well, this doesn't say Tommy. So please make sure your clients understand that. Generally, it's joint account. I'm very aware that most married couples have joint
accounts,
accounts, but there's a lot of people that don't. And joint accounts are fine because you're
do they have those
you're gonna
names
pop
on
up
it?
on there. Yeah,
Okay.
generally speaking, yeah. So, well, because I'll get a snapshot, whatever it is. But I've seen pushback on this. So please make sure you are very dialed in with your consumer and say, hey, just to be crystal clear, the money is coming from Tommy Golightly's account directly. When they receive this money, it'll literally say a wire from Tommy Golightly, correct? Client says, yes, great, no problem. Client says, well, it might be my aunt. No.
That doesn't work.
No. So there's some nuances. You don't run into it, but when you do, it is such a pain for no reason. And then the client's already pissed. They blame you, even though it's not your fault because they did something wrong. They don't know who else to blame. They blame you anyway.
Sounds good. Cool. Ready for question 2?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Has anyone had to submit through the VA recently for approval? I am concerned for the timeline and wondering if anyone has submitted since the government shutdown and what their turn times are now. Thanks.
We've been moving pretty quickly. We have been. Now, if you need, here's the one thing I will say. One of the things that has been, it's a pain, is like if you need updated applications or pensions or things like that, that is definitely a lot slower at the moment. If the client doesn't know how to pull it themselves, you will run into issues. But when it comes to the actual loan itself, we have been moving pretty quickly. If you have a wild situation and you have to get a hold of somebody or you have to go through that process, you could have several hurdles trying to deal with that during this current shutdown. But the truth of the matter is the loan itself are moving pretty quickly.
Good. And our final question. I have a really unique case. The borrower's W-2 for over 2 years, but have never received a pay stub. Owner of the company that he works for refused to provide pay stubs to the borrower. What we do in this case? He has the income to qualify.
All right, so I don't know the whole situation, and for the LO, if you see this, I swear to you, please know I'm not coming at you, okay? I'm simply giving you my experience on this situation over my 13 years and looking at the thousands and thousands of loans I've looked at. I have seen this no less than, I would say, 15 to 20 times it pops up, okay? And a bulk of the time, it's like family or something, just, it is what it is. Here's just, we got to take a step back and you have to ask the tough questions. So the first thing is, does the client get a W-2? First thing I'm going to ask, okay, no pay stub, no problem, you get a W-2. If they say yes, which I hope they do, okay, that's a good start. Can you send me your W-2 for last year? They send you the W-2 for last year, you can see that they pay taxes. The next thing that you can do is you get a written verification of employment. But the what that is basically you're reaching out to the client's employer. You're saying, hey, fill us in over the last 3 years and year to date on everything that we need when it comes to this client's income. The taxes, everything of that nature. And then they'll have to fill it out and you can file for some sort of exception to get something done. But the employer, they use the word refuse in there. That word's a red flag, y'all, for the LO on this file. Just so you know, if someone says, an employer says refuse to provide me documents to get your employee into a home, especially if it's about them. I understand if it's something big picture and HR, whatever, fine. But I'm telling you, I need to know how much this person makes so I can qualify them for the home that they want. So the refuse thing really throws me off and I hate it and I push back like you would not believe. And I'm not nice about it. I just want to be crystal clear. I am not nice. It's not worth your time to be nice about it because there's nothing you can do. You're either going to fill all this out and tell me everything year to date and make sure I can submit to the underwriter, or you're going to get me a pay stub. It's the only way I can get this loan closed. And if they say I'm not doing that, I can't give you a house. I cannot give your employee a house. And that's why I'm speaking this way. And I'll tell clients, look, I'm going to go in pretty aggressive. And here's why I'm going in aggressive. And that's what I do in this situation. And I would highly recommend you do the same thing. So not having a pay stub, I've seen it happen. I'm not saying that it's a red flag every time, but of the 15, 20-ish I've been a part of, I mean, I think 3 of them, 4, maybe 4 of them were legitimate good. The other ones were family. They're trying to navigate tax situations. They're trying to do workarounds. They'd say, oh, you know how it is. No, I don't. I don't know how it is. So generally speaking, my experience has been, unfortunately, the opposite of them doing the right thing. I'm not saying that's your client. Let me be clear. I'm saying their employee, generally something's there. Because think about it. If, like, Tommy, if I didn't give you a pay stub for AIME, what would you do?
I wouldn't be I probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
real, dude. Let's be real. I was
Yeah.
like, no, you're paid, dude. You're good. Yeah, but what'd you take out? Oh, you're fine, Tommy. But no, Tom, please stop, Tommy.
I
come
have
on,
personal
please.
experience of getting screwed over with that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
look at that. I didn't
Yeah.
want to know that, but now understand that. So think about that from that perspective. If he's comfortable with that, why? Like,
Yeah.
how are you good with that?
And
Look at
also,
your face when I just mentioned it to you.
Also, I think the aggression is kind of a win-win for the LO. Because one, if it's not received well and there's no budging and it's not going to change, you just save
Bingo.
time because you're not doing any more work on it. Or the aggression is taken with, oh, this is serious. Yeah, let me get right on it. What do you need? And it just kind of gets you to that goal. And I know not everyone is comfortable being that aggressive, but maybe this is a good opportunity if you're not to try it.
And you know what? Let me finish with, because what you just said I love a lot. When I use the word aggressive, and I love that you said that, you're giving great pointers today. You are. It's very important. Y'all, being aggressive, okay? Being, and the better word is being professionally confrontational. All right.
I like
So
that.
let me use a better word, because when I say aggressive, everybody probably starts thinking like you're gonna fight. So I got to be careful with that. Professionally, all right. When I go into that conversation, professionally confrontational is, hey, there's only two paths forward for me to help your client, your employee, get this loan done. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts and nothing in between. This is very black and white. Here are the two paths we can go. The path that will not work is not having anything at all. So between these three options, which path do you believe we can make happen? If they say, not doing it, totally understand. Thank you for your time. Hang up. Let the client know. Generally speaking, I do try to have the client on the phone with me. And I tell the employee that. I don't like hide it. I'm like, hey, we're just conferencing each other in. Usually the client will conference me in, but I need them to hear me have that conversation, because what I can't have them doing is thinking it's my fault. Right? So professionally confrontational is a better word for that. And you can do it even if you're not somebody that likes that kind of confrontation. You can do it in a way that's not aggressive. It's like, hey, this is kind of where we're at. This is the only thing we can do. I don't have any other route. And as long as your client hears it, they know. They're like, all right, well, now their employee is the reason they're not getting a house. If it's legit.
Yeah.
Because if it's legit and it's really they're getting paid, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
They're going to fill it out. But if it's not legit and they're pushing back, it's, come on, y'all. I need to know how much you make. You're asking me to give you a house for $400,000. I'm telling you, can you tell me how much you make? And you're saying, I can't. But you want me to go to this lender and get you 400 grand. They want a pay stub. I can't get you a pay stub. They're not going to give you 400 grand.
No.
And rant.
Well, if you want your question answered on the Broker Power Up and making John rant about it, use hashtag Broker Power Up when you comment in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group. Not in it? Become an AIME member. Scan the QR code, go to the link, and become one, and get your questions in there. And our community will chime in pretty dang quick. But every week I go around and pick a couple questions, and we get them answered here. And if you want it specifically called out, again, use hashtag Broker Power Up. We'll see you on the other side of this ad for Sales Pitch Training. Be right back.
Are you a wholesale mortgage professional? Well, then the very first thing you need is a community to help you and your business grow. With AIME membership, your community is right here. Joining our community means never navigating the market alone or operating without a safety net ever again. We are 16,000 members strong of united wholesale professionals. From rookies to top-ranking originators, all dedicated to supporting each other's success so we can grow together. Beyond entry to the best community in the mortgage industry, AIME membership gives you the resources, tools, guidance, discounts, services, and support that help you and your wholesale business grow, thrive, and most importantly, close more loans. AIME membership connects you with leading wholesale lenders and vendors, offering you exclusive access, services, and discounts that save you more money while helping you make more money. Never get stuck on a loan again with our lender escalation program. Grow your network and skills with the wholesale industry's best conferences and networking events. Get the strategies and skills of top originators and industry innovators with AIME's cutting-edge wholesale mortgage education, resources, and content. AIME offers all of this and more, starting at a low price of $19.99 a month. You heard it here first, couple cups of Starbucks coffee. For you to learn more and get started, all you have to do is visit aimegroup.com, AIME group.com/membership. Your community is waiting.
And I'm waiting to become a better salesperson. John, what do we got?
You know, Tommy, nothing worse than being ghosted.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm sure there's many other things that are worse, but my goodness,
It's
the frustration on being ghosted is absolutely miserable. And especially in sales, doing this as long as I have, the amount of times I've been ghosted and the amount of times I've seen other LOs get ghosted is astronomical. And LOs out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You ready for this? Mr. and Mrs. Client, I have the perfect loan for you. I'm saving you $150 a month. We're giving you, you're becoming debt free. We're finally going to get you on the path to financial freedom. We're going to leverage the equity in your home to do this. Your credit score that took such a hit is going to start going back up again. I can't believe I was able to get this approved. Ready to move forward. The client says, let me talk to my spouse. You say, no problem. You try to overcome. You're a little frustrated. And then in the back of your head, you're like, you know what? This is such a good deal. Like, they're going to do it. Let me just hang up. No worries. Let's talk tomorrow. And then you're just sitting there already counting your wins. You're looking at your friends and they're like, how'd that go? And you say, I got it. It's in the bag. I'll follow up with them tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes around, Tommy. You get out of bed, brush your teeth with a little bit more excitement because you know you're going to start the day in the back of your head with a loan and an opportunity. You're like, I got that one today at least. And then you get to the office and Tommy, you do something like this. You sit down at your desk, you enter whatever password you have, and then you open your email and you go through and then you read it. And it says, hey, John, thank you so much for yesterday. But I'm not sure this makes sense after talking to my wife. We'll let you know if we change our mind. You go, what? No way. It's paying off all your debt. I'm saving you all this money. And then what you do is you wait a little bit, you reply, and you say, no problem, even though internally you're festering with so much anger and frustration. And why aren't you doing this? And then you check on them a couple days later and you call, hey, this is Jonathon, just checking in. They don't answer. They don't reply. Then you send them a text. They don't reply. Then what happens, Tommy, is demoralized. On to the next one. And if that's you, I have a solution for you.
Great. What is it?
This is called the Rich Formula Follow-Up Breakdown.
Cool.
Just call it Rich. Don't worry.
Cool. Okay.
I just added all the other stuff to it. So relevant, intentional, consistent, helpful. So let's start backwards. First thing you need to understand when it comes to following up, whether it's voicemails, whether it's just checking in on a client, whether it's your pre-approvals. Number 3, consistent. The C in Rich, consistent is where you need to start. Well, John, what do you mean by that? Okay, well, let me tell you. So set the standard for yourself now. So I have a methodology called land, air, and sea. Text message, phone call, email. Text message, phone call, email. I hit all of those points. So for me, my first follow-up with the client is land, air, and sea. Immediately, right away. The second that they tell me they're not ready to do something or they need some more time, immediately land, air, and sea. I've already got the phone call down, but now I got to make sure they get a text message from me the second we hang up and an email from me the second we hang up, making sure they understand everything that I put together. I try to do this on the phone with them before getting off, so I usually like to be prepped prior to getting on the call just in case it goes in that direction. That way, when I send the email, I can say, hey, can you let me know while we're on the phone if you received it? So what I mean by consistent is, what is your pattern? Then from there, how many days are you waiting before you make the first call? Then how many days are you calling or reaching out in a row before you move that client out waiting for a week or so? You have to have all of that built out, and I would highly recommend you start with consistent. What does your level of consistency look like? What do you want it to look like? John, I don't want to do 3 times a day. No problem. I love 3 times a day. The next part of consistent, where you have to figure this out, and then I'll go through the steps. The times you're calling. If you call every morning at 8 a.m. and you never get an answer, why don't you try lunch?
Yeah.
Why don't you try dinner? So set that up. So say to yourself, okay, if the client doesn't answer on my 3rd attempt at this time, I need to try this time. So the C in Rich, the consistency, this is where you work backwards. And you might not know where to start, so go ahead and just start making the calls and getting it going. But once you go through this process, understand how to consistently do it and understand what your level of consistency means. Because now every time you have a client that comes in, you know how to follow up and you do it your way. So I wanted to start there, like Star Wars in the middle a little bit, and work my way back. So consistent is what I want you to think about while I'm going through this training with you. Ask yourself, what kind of consistent follow-up do I have, if any? Do I have a method to my madness? So we're going to go back from the top. Rich, relevant. Tie your follow-up to something that matters to them. So in this situation, I do bring up whatever I talk to the client about on the phone. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, I know it's been a couple of days since we last talked, and I got your email a couple of days ago. I know you said you wanted just to wait a little bit of time to think about it. And I've been thinking about you over the last several days because of how our conversation went, and you mentioning that you're a flat tire away from not being able to make a mortgage payment. So you've been on my mind. I'd love to get feedback from you. Now we're going to go into step 2. Intentional. The I is intentional. So we just made it very relevant.
Yeah.
Very specific. That's why your notes in your CRM, that's why the email I send is so important. Because not everybody does a CRM. I'm not good with updating my personal CRM. You know what I'm really good at, though, is email. Like, I am emailing everything, keeping the client updated. So I'll leverage that for my little notes when it comes to what am I doing for the client? What are the specifics of it? That's why that email is so important to me. So I make it relevant. Then I intentional. Here's what you have to stop doing, okay? Hey, I'm just checking in on you.
Why?
Because exactly, Tommy. You know what it sounds like? I want money. Can you call me back? I get paid if you do this. Can you call me back? And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have those thoughts. If that's true.
No, you're
there's truth. There's truth to that. Your commission.
Yeah.
You don't get paid unless you close a loan. But the way the client perceives it is that's what you have to be thinking about, is the way the client's perceiving it. So from an intentionality standpoint, be very intentional with what you're saying. I'm not just checking in. Hey, I take what I do incredibly seriously. And I've been thinking about you and your family. I know you said to check in a couple of days, and I've been reaching out a few times and have not heard back. I'd love to get the feedback that you and your wife have on this, because I remember when we spoke on the phone, one of the biggest things for you was your potential concern that if you don't do something, that you're a flat tire away from not being able to make your mortgage payment. And I would just love to understand where I may have dropped the ball or where you have additional questions regarding this potential opportunity. And the number 3 is consistent. This goes back to the cadence that I talked to you about. This goes back to how many times are you going to do that call? How many times are you going to send that text? I have fun with my text. That's the other piece of it. I'm intentional with my text. Hey, Mr. Mrs. Client, it's Jonathon. All you got to do is say 1, 2, or 3. Let me know which one it is. Number 1, you love the loan. You're just not ready to move forward. Number 2, you thought you loved the loan, but somebody else in your life doesn't. Number 3, you just don't like me or any of this altogether, and you want me to stop calling you. LOL. Between those 3, which one is it? You know how many responses I've received to that? That simple email, that simple text message. People love it. And I always end with something funny. Hey, don't worry. I'm a big boy. I've been doing this a long time. You're not going to offend me.
And that's something that I've learned in from all these sales pitch trainings is I get people knocking on my door about once every other day, soliciting me for either like bug spray or solar panels or something. And I've gotten it down to a science because I don't want to waste their time. I'm not getting solar panels on the house. And so I just walk out. I know that they're trying to sell me something. And I go, my wife will say no. Sorry. And then I close the door. But that's just hitting number 3. That's just hitting number 3. But also, I had no communication with them before. So it's a very different conversation than with the broker who you've been communicating with.
It is, but regardless though, it's the consistency of it. It's the process. It's you understand what you're going to do when this happens.
Mm-hmm.
You get what's coming next, and that's the biggest piece I try to teach people is exactly that. Like you've told me all the time, you're picking up on so many sales trainings simply because of what we're doing and these conversations that we're having. The other piece of it though, y'all, is understand this. Clients need to know you have a lot of humility because they also might be embarrassed. I know I haven't called you back in a month. That's happened. You know how many times it's happened to me? Clients like, that's when I changed my complete mind on all of this, just so you all know. Because when I'm new and I'm losing those deals, just like you, I'm like, oh, I can't believe it. No, what did I do wrong? Why is this client, the client's an idiot. Come on, y'all. Some of it's humility. I had a client call me back and the client says, hey, I know I haven't called you back. I know you're blowing me up for a week. I was just embarrassed. I had a client tell me that before.
I felt that emotion before.
Yes. And that meant a lot, Tommy. And so once I heard that, I'm like, wait, so let me just have the humility. And so that's when I started having fun with the text and the consistency and all of that. And then the last piece of it, go ahead, Tommy.
I think that will absolutely, having fun with it and almost texting like you and I do as friends, like just keep a level of professionalism for sure, but don't make it, see, if I get a big giant email with a big long list of things for me to do, that's an undertaking and I'm going to sit down and I have to deal with it. And I'm not going to be able to just do it right away. But if you're just gauging interest and you're at that stage, a fun, friendly text can get you that answer. Don't hit them with, hey, I need X, Y, Z, A, B, C, E, F, G.
It never works.
It never works. But if you're just gauging interest to make sure they're still interested, that's a text. That's a quick call. But do it friendly do it in a fun way like you said, the 1, 2, and 3, LOL. Don't stop talking to me.
Correct.
It's one of those things where it gives them an out. And if they don't take the out, then that's on them. And that tells you that there is an inkling that you are going to be able to continue this conversation.
God, we got to get you on the phones. I feel like if we ran an experiment.
Hey, I have not missed a single episode of Broker Power Up, and this is where I've gotten in 35 episodes. So I've listened to every single one.
I feel like we just get you licensed, have you write 3-4 loans, and just be like, look, I told you, this is how you do it.
No, that sounds awful. No.
Yeah. I will say this. Talk to Rami McCall.
Yeah.
Because we got him licensed during COVID because we were trying to figure out we don't know what we're doing right before we knew rates were plummeting. Talk to Rami McCall about it. And I know we're joking about we're way too busy, but talk to about how much it's helped his business now. Rami, he's one of my best friends, but our videographer. He does a lot of the stuff video wise for AIME.
Yeah, we talk all the time.
And me, but he got licensed during COVID. We just didn't know what was going on prior to us realizing rates were dropping. And he wrote some loans doing it, but what it's given him from a just introspective lens, where when he's talking to LOs about marketing now, he's like, oh my God. He says he drives through it and just hearing the way you're speaking and the way you're delivering the messages. I'm like, dude, you'd probably, honestly, Rami, I love you, but Tommy would write more loans than you.
But I mean, Rami and I have a similar background, right? We both are creatives and we both come from video and graphics, and so we have a similar background. So it would be a similar transition too. But yeah, I will definitely talk to him. That would be a fun conversation to have.
Mm-hmm. And then y'all, last but not least, in the rich. All right, we have relevant, intentional, consistent. The last one is helpful. Be helpful. Deliver something useful every time. Something on that phone call that you're able to get back in front of them. Whether it's insights about rates, whether it's the property itself, whether it's, hey, new opportunity has been put in front of me, you want to make sure that you're providing some sort of helpful value. What's in it for the client? What's in it for me? Always think that about the client. What's in it for them? What's in it for them? Why would I call me back? And if you really want to take this to the next level, oh my God. You ready for this? Call somebody in your life, tell them, hey, I want to leave you a voicemail, and then I want to listen to it. Can you send it to me after I send it to you? Do that and watch what happens. You want to talk about cringe? Oh God, it's so bad. But it's the most beneficial thing you can do to hear your tone. Would you call yourself back? And that takes you to the next level. So rich follow-up, relevant, intentional, consistent, helpful. That's today's sales tip.
I love it. That was a fun ride.
Yeah, we went on a ride for that one, huh?
Oh yeah. There was the thing you brought up at the end, the voicemail. There's a Lil Dicky song. It was like,
which one?
I'll try and find it.
I gotta find it out too. I love it.
But it's I think it's Professional Rapper. I think it's when he calls and he's like, hey, can you just, when I send you this voicemail, can you just send it back? I need to. So he's basically like using it to record. Like he's using voicemail to record.
Oh, no way. Yeah, we have to clip
I'll
that
find
if we can in here.
I'll clip it. Yeah.
Well,
But
the one I just popped up says his pickup line. So let's not use that one.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, well, I'll leave a link in the description. But if you want more sales pitch training to become better salespeople, live and in person this week, get over to Nashville. Come join us at Fuse. And if you haven't claimed your ticket yet, what are you doing? And if you haven't gotten a hotel yet, good luck. Scanning this QR code will help you and point you in the direction of our trusted source to find a hotel room, along with claiming your ticket if you're a member, or buying one or becoming a member and getting one for cheaper. We will see you on the other side for Storytime with John.
Fuse is just around the corner, believe it or not, another year down. And we are excited for the largest event of the entire wholesale mortgage industry. Fuse National Conference 2025 is taking its show on the road. Now emanating from Nashville, Tennessee, from October 23rd through the 25th. This event is all about sales, sales, sales. Don't miss the chance to join us in Music City for 3 days full of the most cutting-edge content we've ever produced, featuring the industry's top minds, leaders, and innovators. Access the newest tools and resources from wholesale leading lenders and vendors. Take part in our acclaimed workshop summits for free. Catch wholesale's rising stars in their very own breakout sessions. And of course, take part in the best and, quite frankly, the most fun networking opportunities you'll find in the wholesale channel. Join us to grow your network, your skill set, and your business at what will no doubt be the greatest Fuse conference yet. Go to fuse.aimgroup.com to sign up and receive updates when tickets go on sale. Secure your hotel room and get your Fuse tickets for free. That's a $600 value for the prices as low as $199 when you sign up for an AIME annual membership. Don't miss your chance to be there when wholesale history is made at Fuse 2025. I can't wait to see you there.
All right. And John, the floor is yours for Storytime.
Yes, sir. So today's story is about confidence. I remember as I've just gone through life, how many times I've met people and I used to ask them, what makes you confident? And the majority of the time people would say, I don't know. I've just been doing this and doing that. And eventually it happens. And as you start going through life, you start getting more conscious about the world and understanding, and you try to do your own due diligence and dive deep into certain topics that you find fascinating. And for me, confidence has always been something that I have found very fascinating. I was not always a confident person. It took me a long time to build my confidence. I have trauma like many of you and other things I had to deal with, but who cares? Because you have the chance to earn confidence every day. And so the first place I want to start here with you is I do understand how to build confidence. And last night, I watched two human beings explain it through a video. And I'm going to share that story with you because when people say I'm not confident, I always challenge them on it. And I had a conversation with my group last Wednesday, and I sat there, and one of our IT guys in the corner, brilliant, unbelievable with IT, knows systems better than anybody you ever meet, can make you as secure as possible. And I started the story, and I started talking about confidence, and I said, the first thing is you need to know what you're confident at, because confidence comes in so many different aspects of life. And so I looked right at our guy that's in IT, and I said, hey, how confident are you that you know more about internet security than any person in this room? He said, very confident. And then I looked at all the loan officers and him, and I said, okay, how confident are you that you're the best loan officer in this room? He said, not confident at all. And everyone started laughing. And they got my point. Because in life, there are things that you're really good at and things that you're really confident about. Matter of fact, the guy that's behind the screen right now, Tommy, there's several things he's really good at and he understands at a high level. For instance, card collecting, how appreciation works and depreciation works with cards, where he should spend his money. He is very confident in his ability to do that. I'm confident in my ability to write mortgages. I'm confident in my ability to lead. And so the story I'm going to share with you is the epitome of building confidence and how to do it. Now, I am a wrestling fan, WWE, WWF back in the day, and there was a wrestler by the name of Diamond Dallas Page, DDP. I think he actually sued Jay-Z for putting up the diamond sign, because that was his sign that he used to have. And so he wrestled. He's retired now, but now what he does is he has a show and he goes around and helps morbidly obese people that haven't been able to like walk or get out of bed, and he helps them get back on track. And so yesterday, one of the videos that I watched is Diamond Dallas Page helping this young man. First thing that they had to do is get on the scale and weigh. And the gentleman, he must have been about 5'6", maybe 5'7". And so Diamond Dallas Page asked him, this is how it starts. He says, hey, how much you think you weigh? He says, oh, I think about 468. All right, we're about to find out. Puts the scale down. The gentleman steps on the scale. 510 pounds. The guy loses it. He just starts crying. Oh, he's losing his mind, and you feel for him. And then Diamond Dallas Page, just focused, dialed in. It's all right, let it out, let it out, let it out. So then they're having conversations. They're going back and forth. And here's where I felt the confidence. And I said, that's it. This is how you do it. So they go outside. Diamond Dallas Page says, all right, listen, we're going to start walking. The guy goes, no, I can't do that. I can't do that is what he says. Diamond Dallas Page says, okay, I have a chair. Let's bring this chair with us. It's a foldable chair. And he says, when you get tired, you tell me. I'll open the chair and you sit down. The guy goes, okay. So here they are stepping outside. And now you see this gentleman start to take his first steps. So he takes his first couple steps and you can see the frustration in his face. Oh, I can't do this. I told you. I need the chair, please. So DDP obliges. He says, no problem. He opens the chair. He says, take a seat. The guy takes the seat. He rests. He gets back up. He says, you ready for more steps? No problem. They start taking more steps. And now the guy, this time around, he's not as frustrated. He says, hey, I want to take a seat. And he's much more calm when he says it this time. The first time he said it, you could tell he was angry. He was mad. The second time, I'd like to take a seat. Now, Diamond Dallas Page picked up on that and he said, hey, do you mind if we take just a couple more steps before I open the seat? Is that okay? The guy says, no problem. Takes a couple more steps. Opens the seat. And now he's several steps further than he was the first time around. And now they're getting close to this hill. And now this is not a steep hill. This hill is barely up for the common person to deal with. But this gentleman and what he's dealt with in his life and the struggles that he's had, he starts to see the hill and he goes, I've never been up that hill. I can't do that. I can't go up the hill. I don't want to go up the hill. And he's just by looking at the hill, he wasn't even close to it yet. Diamond Dallas Page says, we're not even there. Relax. Let's just keep taking our steps. You tell me when you need a break. If we can't do it, we can't do it. You can see he calms down. He takes more steps. They take another seat. They take more steps, take another seat. Now comes the hill. And this is the most beautiful part. They get to the hill. And I mind you, y'all, this is the slope right here. For those that can see me, if you can't see my hand, you're not high up. You're talking maybe 10, 15 degrees of elevation here. So he sees the hill and he says, okay, can we sit before we go up? Diamond Dallas Page says, why don't we try to go up first and sit at the top? I bet it's more rewarding. You can see his face is frustrated. And he looks and he says, well, can I hold your arm? Diamond Dallas Page says, absolutely. You could hold my arm. So he puts his arm out. The guy latches onto his arm, takes his first step. Oh no, he starts to get nervous. Takes a step. I'm getting wobbly. I don't want to fall. You're not going to fall. Leverage me. Use me. Takes his next step and he goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to do it. And goosebumps hit me just like they did right now. And that, my friends, is confidence. He built it one step at a time. And he got to the top of this hill and they opened the chair. And he sat down at the top of this hill that he said he hasn't done in years. Years. And he was so emotional and so proud of himself. But the word that he said is, I did it. I did it. I can't believe I did it. This is a 10-minute ordeal, team. All those emotions from I can't, I won't in 10 minutes. So when people tell me now, John, how do you build confidence? One day at a time. One step at a time. We need to get out of this world of instant gratification, and I fall in it too. I'm loving this AI stuff. I'm loving all these shiny glitz and glamour and all these shiny toys. But confidence is built one step at a time. And the most important piece, John, I don't know how to take my first step. Well, then your friends better know how, and they better teach you. And if your friends don't know how, get them out of your life. Think about the friend that he had to be for that person. Diamond Dallas Page has confidence. I have confidence. Some of you listening to this have confidence, and some of you listening don't. And if that's you, find someone who is confident and say, hey, I just need your hand for a little bit, but I want to take my first step. Not many people are going to tell you no, my friends. So start building confidence one step at a time. That is today's story.
I got goosebumps in the back. That has to be one of the best stories we've had on the podcast. I love that one. I love that. And I'm sitting in the back and I'm listening to the story and I'm always just like, all right, how do I come on and kind of just comment on the story? And I never want to just be like, oh, it's the best one and just leave it at that, because I can do that every week and then it wouldn't be special. But I don't. What I came up with this week was confidence, very much like walking and this chair. It's not a straight line. It's not just you're building confidence and it just goes up. You're going to take hits. Like you mentioned with cards, like I've made mistakes. Like I was like, oh, this is a sure thing. It's going to go up. It's going up. It's going crazy. And then crash. No one wants it. 2 weeks ago, people were fighting over it in stores. Now it's just sitting on shelves. And you were so right. You were so right. You were going the right way. And then you weren't. And that it takes getting knocked down and getting back up to build that confidence. And the more times you're knocked down and the more times you get back up, the easier it is to get back up, and the less likely you are to be knocked down.
And Tommy, I love that, man, because that's the part people stop learning. You know, yeah. It's like they just want the good. They just want like all the positive. They just want yeah, it's great all the time. And that's not where you build confidence, brother. Like, it's
No.
just not where you build it, not in the good.
One
You
of
build it
my
in the doubt.
one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone says I can't. I don't believe that. There are very few things people can't do that I ask them to do, or that I ask of people. It's usually I can't is hiding either I won't, but what I do respect is when people say I can't yet. Like, I'm not there
I
yet.
love that. I can't yet. Yeah, I like that.
It's like, it just adds that little bit of I can't right now, but I'm working on my way to get there. So, great story, John.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you. And appreciate you, listener, for making it all the way to the end of this podcast leading up to Fuse. So thank you for tuning into the episode of the Broker Power Up podcast. If you found today's tips helpful, please do us a favor. Hit the like button to let us know you enjoyed it, which helps even more people see this content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, ring the bell to get notified every time we drop new content, and then share this video with a fellow broker who could use a power up. Remember to lead by example, to lift each other up, to grow together, and most importantly, close more loans. Until next time, keep powering up.